It's not medically proven. Blue balls. Oh, if I don't, if I don't come, I will have sperm pain. I will have, all those things are just lies to make sure that they have an ejaculation. It's something that goes up before surely come down, Abi. It's not.
Hypertension and things like ginseng, things like Viagra, very contraindicated. So we have more natural aphrodisiacs and methods that will not interfere with your blood pressure and the medication you take.
Nowadays, people trust Google doctor more than they trust the actual doctor. People Google their symptoms, they Google what they would need to take in order to get their energies where they want them to.
In the context of social aphrodisiacs, we're talking about those things that immediately boosts things that we've talked about. However, there's a particular lifestyle, nutrition that over time would help you to achieve, a good sexual appetite, good desire, and good libido.
Mainly we have milk, we have maybe some cassava, we have peanuts, then they're blended and mixed together, then you're given that. So it's it's all in the mind. It's a mind game, but also it elaborates the need for good nutrition.
How you're going to spice things up is up to you, but remember, the biggest sex organ is the brain. What are you feeding your mind? We keep it real with you. Welcome to the MedSquad Podcast. My name is Yafesi Musoke. Now picture this. Your husband decides today he's taking you out for that night and he promises that it's going to be unforgettable. He even lists everything that's going to happen that night. I'm talking about after dinner. And so in your mind, there's at least 7 to 8 hours of interaction that will happen. But at the crucial moment, it's completely forgettable. We're talking about herbs, hype, and hormones. What is the deal with sex boosters? And I have some experts in this particular field seated here with me. They'll introduce themselves, starting from my left.
Thank you, Yafesi. I'm Georgina, Nyaka, a general practitioner.
You're keeping it humble. Okay, don't worry, we'll get to you.
Okay, my name is Dr. Kelechi, Okoro, medical doctor, but I use entertainment to deliver health information.
Yeah. See, these are the ones.
All right, Malcolm, clinical nutritionist and dietitian.
All right. Now, this topic, before we get into what aphrodisiacs actually are, because we hear the word aphrodisiac, for me, a song plays in my head, but the ones that we can name off the top of our head, which one can you think of?
Okay, from Nigeria, we have Jagaja bitters, all the things that have bitters at the end of it.
Yeah.
We have Viagra, we have, people talk about tiger nuts, and then we also have those ones that are not ingested. You have to sit on it, they're perfumes. So there are all kinds of, products. It doesn't just have to be something you put in your mouth, something you could rub on your body, something you could cook yourself inside of it.
You sit inside
Yes, you sit, like for a woman, you sit on it and then the vapor just goes into your body. So it's a whole lot. Culturally, from all over the world, they're just different kinds of aphrodisiac.
What's this one called? Monkey tail? Is it monkey tail?
Oh, monkey tail.
Monkey tail.
You're calling it so nice. Monkey tail. It's called monkey tail.
Oh, monkey tail.
Monkey
tail.
Okay. When you hear that kind of thing, it just gives you that idea and that ginger that this night is going to be hot.
Even just by the name, even if you didn't think it was going to be hot, you're under pressure.
Exactly.
Now, which humble ones can we come up with? Do we have chaotic ones like those?
We have for light ones, we have chocolate, we have peanuts, we have saffron.
Look at us sounding all civilized. Chocolate and saffron.
We also have groundnuts, jugu. We also have
Mukombero. Okay, that one at least sounds like Mukombero. It can compete with the babita. So if we actually go into what aphrodisiacs are, in talking medically, not from the they turn me into a bull. Yeah. In terms of pharmacological or medical speak, what is an aphrodisiac?
Okay, so an aphrodisiac basically is anything that you ingest, fruit, product, anything at all that you ingest or use to increase your sexual appetite, to increase your libido, and to increase your desire for sex.
Yeah.
Yes, those are aphrodisiacs.
Wow. So then we'd have to distinguish between some things, because there's the sexual appetite, there's libido itself. You may have the appetite and not the libido.
Exactly.
So which ones? just distinguish between them.
Oh, they're all aphrodisiacs, and one can act as as a sexual appetizer or a libido booster. It just depends on which one and what exactly it does, because they have different mechanisms of action.
Yes.
Do you want me to go into that?
We'll get into the mechanisms. So Malcolm, whenever it comes to things that you ingest, things that you take in, I turn to you. So
Welcome.
Is it what is it? Is it psychological? Or is it an actual thing that affects your chemical balance and gets you into thought mode?
All right. So it's both, because when we talk about sex and all that appertains, it's mental. It starts in the mind. But when we talk about ingestion, yes, there are pathways that are involved in terms of ingestion to help boost arousal and libido. The main aspects are, for men mainly, we talk about vasodilation.
Yeah.
So we talk about foods that increase blood flow to the vital areas. Then for other foods, we look at, in terms of neurotransmitters in the brain, we have happy chemicals.
Yeah.
Chemicals involved in pleasure responses. So we talk about serotonin, we talk about dopamine, which are feel-good hormones, some involved in pleasure responses and all that. So some of the things we ingest increase the levels of the happy chemicals in the brain, hence boosting libido and arousal and pleasure and desire.
Okay. Now, in fact, Georgina, you had mentioned groundnuts. I was thinking in my head, if people think of groundnuts as, are there different strengths to some of these aphrodisiacs? Because groundnuts is not an immediate thing like you're thinking, after eating groundnuts, but there are other things which would be like immediately you're like, yeah.
I'd say, okay, ingested food is different from taking medication like Viagra.
Yeah.
Taking Viagra would cause that immediate effect.
Yeah.
But again, on food substances, there's that active ingredient in food, like something like zinc found in whole grain, in wheat. It could go a long way in boosting your testosterone levels, hence now boosting your sexual appetite. But again, when you look like something like Viagra, Viagra goes a long way with causing increased blood flow to the genital region, that is the penile region.
Yeah.
And now you get an erection, and now you're able to perform in sexual intercourse.
Okay. So then it sounds like for men, it's just getting the blood there and raising the flag. But for women, we know generally it's a lot more psychological.
Exactly. I was going to just wrap up what they said earlier. So when we talk about aphrodisiacs in the context of social aphrodisiacs, we're talking about those things that immediately boosts things that we've talked about. However, there's a particular lifestyle, nutrition that over time would help you to achieve, a good sexual appetite, good desire, and good libido. But when people talk about aphrodisiacs, they're talking about you were talking about the immediate ones, okay? And then for men, it usually has to do with increasing blood flow to the penis, right? But for women, it starts from the mind. It's the mental. It's the brain chemicals. It's the desire. It's even for some women, it's very hormonal. For example, the hormones that causes women to have that sexual drive is testosterone. Some women might think, oh, testosterone is just for men. But women also have testosterone, same as men. And the higher the level of testosterone in women, the higher the sex drive, okay? And then for women also, estrogen is responsible for vaginal lubrication. So the level of the estrogen also matters. And that's happening around the vagina. But mostly for women, it's mental. If a woman is stressed, if she's been working all day, if she's not in a good relationship, if she doesn't communicate with her partner, if her partner is not buying her flowers, her partner is not, making her feel like she's in a safe environment, she's not going to have any sexual appetite. It's going to be more mechanical for her. For men, sex is mechanical mostly.
Well,
right? Mostly mechanical.
Very true.
They see a fine lady and they want to, they just get aroused. For most women, I won't say all women, for most women, you need to talk to their mind first. A woman cannot just see a fine man and say, oh, I want this man. No, you need to talk to her. It's more about what she hears. It's about what she feels in her head. So like I mentioned earlier, for women, it's not just mechanical. Of course, the mechanical part is there. A woman might just feel, okay, if she's happy and all of that, but she's stressed. Her cortisol level is high. Her estrogen is low. She's not lubricating properly in the vagina. So all these things would just, accumulate, and cause her to maybe need some form of aphrodisiac.
So now you mentioned the cycle, because the ovulation cycle and all. So there are certain periods, certain points in the cycle
Okay.
that she's more receptive
Okay.
to sex and sexual activity. And now, does the aphrodisiac negate the other part where she's in a bad mood and doesn't like how you look or smell? Or even
Okay, first of all, she has to even work herself up to want to take the aphrodisiac. Except she just wants to be in the mood and she just wants to appreciate or, just be in the mood for the man.
Yeah.
Okay, you talked about ovulation. The general knowledge is that women are horny during ovulation. I'm an exception. During ovulation, do not touch me. I am in so much pain. There's something called Michel's Mitch pain, right?
Yeah.
Where, yes, we have severe pain that can even cause vaginismus. It's called the vaginismus, where the muscles of your vaginal walls and your anus, they're all cramping.
yeah.
You can't even move. It can be severe sometimes. So during ovulation, some women do not want to be touched. However, there are some women that during ovulation, their sex drive is overdrive.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why communication is very important. No two human beings, no two female, no two male is the same.
Yes.
So communication is very key. So popular knowledge, ovulation, everybody's horny. No, my dear, not everybody's horny during ovulation. So if you are naturally horny during ovulation, you won't need aphrodisiacs,
Yeah.
right? In fact, on social media, we see posts like, you see when women talk about like, suddenly a man is looking fine to them just because they are ovulating. And I think that it is becoming a social conform, like people are now conforming to that. There's a way you talk about something so much that people now start performing into it, right?
it,
So
yeah.
it's not the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, ovulation, yes, there's an overdrive for some women, but some women will still not want to have any sexual intimacy with their partner during ovulation.
Okay.
Yeah, for some people is just after ovulation, then the period, that's the luteal phase between ovulation and your period.
Okay.
And all of this is controlled by hormones.
All controlled by hormones.
Exactly.
So is there stuff you can, like, as part of your lifestyle, you may not be aware of it, you're not deliberately looking for an aphrodisiac, you're not deliberately looking to boost your libido, but inadvertently you end up doing it, like maybe because of the science behind libido. Are there things that you may take or activities you may engage in that
Yeah.
may end up boosting your libido without you having to necessarily seek out aphrodisiacs?
All right, that's actually, there are very many activities that you do subconsciously that may boost your libido, starting with diet. Because we had spoken about increasing blood flow and we talked about peanuts. Peanuts or any type of nut, most nuts contain nitric oxide. Nitric oxide increases blood flow, which is vasodilation, thus helping in the process. But you may be taking nuts as your healthy snack, so you're not looking to boost libido, but when the time comes, you'll be ready. We have watermelons as well. They contain citrulline, which is a natural vasodilator.
Yeah.
So you might be eating healthy, taking your fruits and veggies, but in the long run, you're helping in the process. Also, things like working out, exercise, physical activity, going to the gym goes a very long way in boosting libido, increases your happy chemicals in the brain, also boosts your confidence. Since you feel good, you look good, you're buff or you're fit, you're slim and all that, it's all in the mind.
Yeah.
So yes.
So, you're on the MedSquad podcast. Now, when we come back, we'll actually be exploring some of the different aphrodisiacs across cultures and how they actually work. You're definitely going to stick around. We'll be back. Welcome back. This is the MedSquad Podcast. We are raising the flag as we talk about aphrodisiacs. I'll leave it at that. I have my MedSquad with me. My name is Yafesi, and as we were talking about about aphrodisiacs, some of them are more spectacular than others. But when we look across cultures, there are also things like, we've heard of things like rhino horns and pangolin. Is it pangolin scales and other animal parts? Some of these are, they're not environmentally friendly. They're not sustainable. But which are the weirdest ones you've heard of as aphrodisiacs, or that are used as aphrodisiacs in different cultures?
Oh, one of the weirdest ones, no offense to my northerners, not just the northerners, there are different cultures.
Yeah.
There's something they call, it's supposed to be, they cook, so you're cooking the vagina, right? Sometimes, they do a sort of things, they are barbecuing it, they are sauteing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you're going to sit on a hot plate and put water and put, womb detox, there's a lot of things that they do, and then they let the steam evaporate into the vagina. It's obvious what that's going to cause. It's going to cause, you're going to be prone to vaginal infections, you're going to cause vaginal dryness, vaginal irritation, and then there's no, those things are not yet studied. So you don't know the kind of, they're natural, right? But they're chemicals. Most of the time people say natural, when people talk about natural things, they think as long as it's natural, it's not harmful.
Yeah.
Everything is a potential poison, including the drugs that are used for treating any form of condition at all.
Yes.
Even water, when you drink water too much, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So when these things are not even studied, these and then nutritionists, pharmacologists, when you have two elements, you don't even know if there's a drug reaction, food reaction. You don't know if you use this and this together, what kind of reaction is going to cause. So these things are not studied, they're not scientifically, proven, or we don't have any scientific facts.
Yeah.
But you just put all of these things and let the steam go into. In fact, sometimes they even, scoop it and put it into the vagina. So these things are causing more harm than good. And then the thing is that people will say it works. It actually seems like it works because there's a placebo effect for everything that you do. Because you think that this thing is going to work. It's just like prayers. It's just like faith.
Yeah.
That's what religion is based on. Faith. You think this is going to work, and it is going to work. So because you think this aphrodisiac you have cooked up, you have marinated and sauteed, you think it's going to work. So it tricks your brain. It doesn't trick. That's what the brain does.
Yeah.
Your brain talks to your body talks to your brain.
Yes.
So it tells your brain that this thing is going to work, and it just naturally boosts your confidence.
Yeah.
You naturally start feeling good about yourself. You naturally, I am cooked. So now I want to wear something nice. I want to, it's just a placebo effect.
Yes.
So does it work? Placebo.
Yeah.
Someone says it works and tells the other person, and the person taps from the faith of the other person, and then it seems like they are working.
Yes.
But they are doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Georgina, do you have some like one you've heard of that like seems to be pretty popular?
Okay, from my end, I'm not that good with cultural things that people do to boost their sexual appetites and everything. But for me, I'd say it's true, the placebo effect actually works because it's all about believing in yourself. Something that you do and you feel that it works for you, it will definitely work. Even at times, you come to the hospital, you know very well this is hysteria, you are not sick. So what do? We just inject you with no more saline, just water.
Yes.
And you'll feel like you're okay, but we've not given you any medication.
That brings me to the thing. Is it like a case of the emperor's clothes? As in, as long as his confidence is there that he has the most beautiful clothes, even if there's nothing.
You are underestimating confidence. That's the problem. Because, see, just when a woman does the makeup, I'm going to talk about myself. Just when I do makeup, all of a sudden I want to go out. All of a sudden I want that person that I just want people to see me. And then it just gives you this natural boost.
Yes.
It boosts your dopamine level. It boosts your oxytocin. That's the love hormone.
Yeah.
You just start acting, very, things just start working. And then let's now go to something that is more popular, the Viagra. If it's not medically prescribed to you,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the truth is that a lot of people are not taking it medically. You know, they just go to the chemist. These people are their regular customers. They just do like this, and the man just gives them,
Yeah.
you know, how as many as they want, right? And because they took it the first time, they took one tablet and it worked. So they want it to work better. Next time they take 2 tablets. Next time they take 3, and then before you know it, we hear of them, you know, we hear on social media and in the news that somebody was just having a rump exercise, or somebody was just, you know, with the usually younger girls, an older man and a younger girl, and the person dies in the act.
Yeah.
The first thing you should think of is use of use of abuse of Viagra
Yeah.
or other aphrodisiacs in the presence of an underlying medical condition.
Okay.
A lot of times people don't even know they have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
People have not checked their blood sugar. People are more interested in the way they appear on the
perception,
bed.
yeah.
Yes, than how they appear on their lab tests.
So would you
these are
recommend that someone who is seeking to use aphrodisiacs first seeks medical help and guidance
Yes.
True.
in which ones to use? So there's a doctor who will prescribe honey goat weed. Is it honey goat weed?
In
With
community
honey goat
medicine,
weed.
yes,
Yeah.
in community medicine, we have you know, some community drugs that, you know, like ginseng, you know, I mean there's some drugs, even sildenafil, Viagra, that's the brand name. Some doctors would prescribe at low dose,
Yeah.
depending on, you know, your condition and if you really need it. But a lot of times people don't come to doctors for erectile dysfunction problems or libido problems. They first go to their, you know, those chemists
The ones on
and
this-
people
yeah.
around them. Yeah.
But isn't that an issue of shame or secrecy around, especially Africa, secrecy around sexual behavior, sexual activity? It's a taboo. We don't talk about it in front of people. If someone comes and sees ginseng, I'm sure you have a few things to say about ginseng.
Yeah.
Is there an issue? Is there an element of shame or secrecy?
Yes, actually, people are not very open about talking about sex, yet it's something most of us, if not all, we do it. So that's why you go to the secret corners to get information about things that are not tried and tested, and things go wrong. So it's something that you should be open about. If not to your friends, talk to a medical professional to get the best information, and the medical professional will have your best interest and your health at heart. As we've also spoken about things like hypertension and aphrodisiacs, especially hypertension and things like ginseng, things like Viagra, very contraindicated. So we have more natural aphrodisiacs and methods that will not interfere with your blood pressure and the medication you take.
Also, to add on what he said, at times you might think that you're low on libido or you're experiencing erectile dysfunction. You think that it's an energy boost you need, but in actual sense, you're not okay medically. Because when we look at conditions such as diabetes or conditions affecting men like prostatitis, they could lead to erectile dysfunction. And on your end, you're thinking, I just need an energy boost. So you go out there, take medication or self-prescribe some things, but in actual sense, you need to seek medical help.
Okay. Yeah, true. And then something that's very important, medical professionals should change their behavior towards sexual health consultations. And that's the reason why most people go to those quacks, because they are more receptive. Not they call out to my colleagues, but sometimes we tend to be judgmental. Sometimes we tend to act like, oh, I'm here for serious issues, not this kind of issues. So it helps if we treat our patients with empathy, if we're not judgmental, and then we have an enabling environment to have such a discussion. Sometimes your patients want to they come to the hospital. There's sometimes some patients come to the hospital and they're telling you something else apart from the main problem.
Yeah.
But if you relax and talk to them, before the end of the consultation, they will tell you exactly what the problem is. There's somewhere I used to practice when as a young medical doctor in a barracks, you know, Air Force barracks. I see no reason why at 3 a.m. a woman is coming with her child to complain of catarrh and headache. It's not a 3 a.m. consultation.
Yeah.
It is not, or a man is coming at 3 a.m. to tell you, my back is scratching me. Sit the man down, have a conversation with the person, and the next you say, my wife, they complain about, sorry, pigeon, right? And then the person is telling you exactly what the problem is. So it helps.
Yeah.
In the quacks, the chemists, the environment is totally different. The nurses also give, that friendly environment. But we doctors, we always have this demigod, behavior where, you just want to, I'm not here for penal discussions, especially if you're not talking to a urologist.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it will help for us to create an enabling environment for people to have such discussions. Sexual and reproductive health clinics is not something that is, you don't go to some hospitals and see you have cardiology units, you have big, but sexual and reproductive health clinics, and I like what Zuri Health is doing. They have this plan for sexual health, and it's anonymous. You don't have to even mention your name.
Yeah.
So things like this would actually help people to come out and say, okay, this is my problem. And if they start, like, you're not mentioning your name, you're in stealth mode. After a while, when you talk to a doctor on Zuri Health and they're open with you, you won't mind to now make it plain that, okay, this is my name, this is who's consulting, and continuous conversations about sexual health would reduce the stigma around it. Like me, you see, I don't have
you're
a
not
problem with
hiding.
talking about
You're not
sexual
hiding
health,
at all.
Yeah, so it makes the patient, easy to relate with you.
Now you're on the MedSquad podcast. And when we come back, we'll be looking at the divide, male versus female, but also other divides that you may not be aware of when we come back. Stick around. Welcome back to the MedSquad podcast. We're talking about aphrodisiacs. By the way, as the MedSquad around me here expertly disseminates this and dissects it, the name aphrodisiac comes from Aphrodite?
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite, the Greek
The
goddess
Greek goddess.
of love and beauty, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, love and beauty. One of the things around boosting libido, sexual performance, or appetite seems to be performative. Seems to be something to do with ego and self-image and affirmation and all that. So the people who tend to seek aphrodisiacs, do they tend to be people in a relationship, or someone who decides, hey, I'm going out and I need to boost, and then you get there and nothing happens and you're left with your engine running for a whole night? Or is it mostly males or females who seek this?
In fact, people in relationship are not having as much sex as people who are single. People in marriages are not having as much sex as people who are not in relationships. So it's an everybody thing. Like, everybody is trying to get access to aphrodisiacs. But when it comes to the gender, I think your gender
Ooh, we're in trouble.
is the culprit. It's something that has to do with ego.
Yes.
Right? Some men forget that there are other things that are important in the relationship, and to women, aside the penis, aside, it's important, right? But there are other things that, we are interested in. I'm talking to you directly now as a male.
I'm listening.
There's other things we're interested in. We're interested in communication. Like I said earlier, women are very mental. It's what they hear, is what they think about before. So men, and then, and then again, men need to understand that you were with Anne yesterday and she likes it hard and rough. Doesn't mean that Angela also wants it hard and rough. Sometimes I think men just put unnecessary pressure on themselves. Okay, not all women want all of that. Some people are just soft. They just want it, soft. They want foreplay. I don't need aphrodisiacs, to engage in foreplay. So I think communication is something that is very key because you're just killing yourself over a woman that when you're done penetrating, she just goes home and uses her dildo or her vibrator to get clitoral stimulation. So wasted your time, wasted your money, wasted your vasodilation, and just wasted, and then you're feeling, oh, I've done, but that's not what she wants. So communication is very key. Men need to do better. And then women need to also communicate better. So communication is you talk, I listen, you talk. So if a man is handling you in a way that is not your style, tell them, I don't want this, I want this. Because When I was younger, I would take some things just because I don't want to appear like I'm too exposed or anything. But you're wasting my time and you're wasting your time,
Yeah.
right? So it's very important to have conversations. And you see that all that time that you're wasting, is not even necessary. And then I also advocate that people should date, marry, or have sexual intercourse or sexual relationships with their type. If you have a high libido, please look for a woman that has a high libido. If you have a low libido, an average libido, look for someone who can match up. Don't be involved with somebody who has a high libido. If you have a high libido, don't be involved with somebody that cannot match up, and then it leads to infidelity. It leads to exposing yourself to aphrodisiacs, unhealthy aphrodisiacs, or dangerous aphrodisiacs. So communication is really the bane,
Yeah.
of this whole conversation.
Which brings me now to an interesting part. It's kind of like a moral argument, because if you're going to look for someone who matches your libido, it's also an ego thing. You're not going to tell them, "I know my libido is here. Yeah, you're also low. Thank you. Yeah." So when there's the aspect I'm thinking of in terms of aggressiveness, where some of these sex boosters can bring in you an aggressiveness and animalistic desire. So does that also kind of hinder the conversation about coming and telling medical professionals, yeah, this is what I'm looking for? Do they look at you like you just want to be out of control?
Yeah, it does, because you see, at the end of the day, it's what you want as a person. If there's this person who wants their libido top, and then they want to talk to a medical personnel, but they feel like this doctor will judge me, then I won't go to the doctor. I'll definitely not go. Nowadays, people trust Google doctor more than they trust the actual doctor. People Google their symptoms, they Google what they would need to take in order to get their energies where they want them to. So I feel like it would definitely lead to people getting unhealthy behaviors out there.
So will there be, like, in fact, Malcolm, after you've been attacked, I've given you time to breathe. So there's,
I'm ready.
like, even for men, it's assumed we don't need. We just see a beautiful woman and everything is awake. But if you add now extra spices and chemicals to that, does that result in sometimes either aggressive behavior or things that can even lead to even violent behavior?
Okay, so in terms of, we've talked about aggression and all that. It may boil down to a person and their personality, but also depends on how long the person has stayed since they last engaged. But in terms of aphrodisiacs, they mainly work on body systems, such as vasodilation and the brain. So ideally, as men, you should just exercise composure, because you cannot blame it on the aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a spark, like an energy that makes you go wild like an animal. We are not animals. We have brains. We are more reserved. We can think and calculate our next move. So we were talking about the men, and mainly when we talk about aphrodisiacs, we're the ones who primarily use most of the aphrodisiacs, because in terms of performance, we're the ones who experience performance anxiety. The pressure is on us to perform rather than for the women.
Yeah.
So for the men, where we go wrong is going for quick fixes, such as Viagra, self-prescribed at the chemists. Actually, there's something I got to know a while back while just visiting a chemist. And I was just inquiring about Viagra, and whoever I spoke to told me that actually it's out of stock. And it's mainly young men below 30 using it. And you wonder why. Your systems are very much okay. You don't have erectile dysfunction. Why are you going for synthetic methods
Maybe
of
they are
boosting
putting
libido?
it in water and putting their plants, because some
The
of the plants
plants.
are drooping.
This is not for the plants to grow. We know where they want to grow. Now, the thing is, for men, ideally, you live healthy, go to the gym, work out, then look at your food. As I had alluded to earlier, go for the healthy snacks, eat your peanuts, eat your watermelon. When the time comes, you'll be healthy enough and you'll be able to rise to the occasion. However, we had spoken about the placebo effect. Once you start taking it, and it works. Even though you're healthy, most likely you're healthy,
Yes.
but you will attribute your performance to the Viagra that you bought.
Yes.
And in all of this, sex is mental.
Yes.
So you'll be telling yourself, I need this to perform, which comes to the question, what if you cannot access Viagra?
Yeah.
What happens? You'll not be able to perform. Not that you're unhealthy, but it's all in the mind. And before we proceed to the next topic, a word to the gentlemen. For us, we're visual beings. You've said you can just look at a woman, you've been told to go for your type, and things go up. But for women, it's all in the mind. It takes time. We're visual beings. They're more of
Audio.
sensual beings, what you tell them, how you make them feel. So it starts in the mind, and it starts even early in the day, in the morning. It starts with a good morning. How do you feel? How was your day? Have you eaten? That's the build-up. That's foreplay. Foreplay is not just
Exactly.
doing physical things to the woman. It
Yeah.
starts in the mind. Once you conquer the mind, you have it. So take your time and use your brain.
All right. His
He
number.
has redeemed himself. There's something else I want to add. We're talking about things that are designated for as aphrodisiac medically. How about the things that are not meant to be aphrodisiac, but young people are using it? For example, tramadol, painkillers.
Yeah.
Young people are using, yeah, sure.
Painkillers.
Yes, some young people are using tramadol for sexual performance, molly, cocaine. Yes, people are using it to enhance sexual performance. So now it's not just a sexual problem, it's a mental problem.
Yeah.
It's now a substance abuse problem. And remember that when a man doesn't have composure, like he said, and discipline, he feels like he is erect, so he has to ejaculate. And then that can lead them to rape, that can lead them to violent behaviors, right? And then there's something that men do that it's not medically proven. Blue balls. Oh, if I don't, if I don't come, I'll have sperm pain. I will have, all those things are just lies to make sure that they have an ejaculation. It's something that goes up before surely come down, Abi. It's not priapism. Priapism is when priapism is when you get erect for
A painful erection.
painful erection for
Painful
more than
erection.
4 hours, and then you need medical intervention. It's not priapism. It is something that went up based on psychology or whatever you've taken to calm down by. So you don't need to have an outlet.
Yeah.
And then you don't need to force the woman to be an outlet.
So one of the words that has kept coming out is performance. Now, you have to also consider, if we're talking about especially young men, where do they get this impression of performance and what performance looks like? Which brings me to something else that is used sort of as a pseudo aphrodisiac, and that's porn. So this man, this lady, they've watched porn, edited videos with performers who have all sorts of camera tricks and things where it's assumed people go non-stop for 3 hours, and then this person believes that that's what performance is. So how detrimental is that to use porn as a standard for seeking libido boosters?
Very detrimental. Using porn as a yardstick and using your partner or your friends or your peer group's performance as a yardstick.
Yes.
I think that, I said it earlier, this pressure is not from women. It is from men. Toxic masculinity is what they tell each other. You're peeing, like as you're growing up, you're peeing with your peer and you're looking at his penis and you're saying, oh, his penis is bigger than mine. I need to go and do so. You understand? He'll be able to perform better than me. Forgetting that the size of the penis doesn't translate to performance, right? Not all women want big dicks. Not all women. I don't know where people heard that from. For some women, it's a turn off.
It was some TV shows.
But according to the porn, it has to be big, black, and veiny. And now, so I think that what will help is conversations like this, reaching the people who need to hear it early. Secondary schools, appropriate languages in primary schools. Because you don't wait till secondary school or university to start talking about sexual health. When I like to call it sexual health, because when you say you're talking about sex, there is the apprehension. So we're talking about sexual health, and it's a basic human right. For children, it has to be age appropriate. for young people, for adults. Everybody needs sexual health education. So we need to start getting these kind of conversations to everybody who needs to learn it, right? So that they know that porn is not the yardstick. In Nigeria, we call it blue film. Okay, you need to let people know that. Okay, so sometimes some men, when they invite a girl to their house, the next thing they're putting blue film. Have a conversation with her. Just some women like it, and those are the women who have been groomed to think that porn is the yardstick. So it comes with orientation, reorientation, and then just crashing the stereotypes.
Okay.
But also to add on what she's saying, so porn is just a temporary add-on, because at the end of the day, you might grow tired of it. Again, it's something that you're teaching yourself, so it might grow into an addiction.
Yeah.
And now definitely you come to realize by the end of the day, I cannot do without it. So you just need it to get hard and to get to perform. Again, for men who participate in watching porn, ultimately it might get you to masturbation and having pre-ejaculation. You ultimately ejaculate before you're supposed to. So your partner definitely thinks that, no, I cannot do with this man, 2-minute man. No. So it's something that people think tends to help them, but at the end of it, they're just bad habits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're on the MedSquad podcast. Before we go on a commercial break, now you heard earlier about men comparing them. So that's why the rule in a urinal is, if you find someone already there, you leave one space, one urinal, and then you go to the next one. And it's always eyes forward, no conversations. You finish, you go. Wash your hands, by the way. So when we come back, we'll be landing this plane and also finding out whether some things are meant to be the way we have implied them to be. Stick around. Welcome back to the MedSquad podcast. We're having a heated debate about aphrodisiacs because the blood flow has increased, because that's what is supposed to happen. Actually, in fact, I wanted to ask a question. Is libido supposed to be consistent?
No, you cannot be horny all the time, but you can be ready for any moment. But it should not be all the time you're just horny and all that. It's not natural. It's not normal to be horny the whole time, because there are various factors that affect your libido. We have stress, we have physical activity, we have diet, we have various medical conditions. So you cannot be just horny the whole time.
Okay.
You can actually be horny the whole time.
That's
if you are an nymphomaniac.
if you're
Yes,
That's
if you're a
different.
nymphomaniac.
So that's a condition.
That's a
That's
condition,
different.
Yeah.
yes. So for a nymphomaniac, you're horny all the time. And then it's more of a mental health issue, right? So if you're going to go and take, okay, for example, you have a male nymphomaniac, you have a female nymphomaniac, and a man is, you would never match up. So it's better for you to just book a psychiatric evaluation or mental health evaluation for your partner, because at first it's exciting.
Yeah.
When men, your gender again, when they see a woman who
Who
always
is
wants, they are so excited until they realize that
chafing,
there's a problem.
back pain,
Exactly.
Okay.
So there are some people who would want to have sex all the time, but they just need to see a doctor.
Wow. Okay. So I wanted to ask, just to yell out some of the names, because we mentioned a lot of things. By the way, when you mentioned watermelon, do you spit out the seeds, or are the seeds part of it?
Part of it.
Part
Take
of
it
it.
all in.
The
Yes.
zinc,
Crush
and
them,
everything.
yes.
Have the zinc, watermelon seeds. So I wanted to throw out some word names of do they work, or are they effective, or are they even aphrodisiacs? Obviously, mention, is it ginseng? Ginseng.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
On the energy side.
On energy.
Boosts your energy.
Okay.
Yes.
What about okra water?
Well, for okra water, people usually take it for vaginal lubrication, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's just a myth, because okra is a water-rich food.
Yes.
So the thing that you're getting from the okra is the water. I bet you if you take a lot of water, you'll be well lubricated. However, if you have a hormonal imbalance, if you have a low estrogen and it's causing vaginal dryness, no matter how much water you take, you will not get lubricated. If you do not like your partner, if you are not interested, if you're experiencing stress, if you have any medical condition that makes your vagina dry, you, no matter how much okra water you take, you will not get lubricated. So it's best that you go see a doctor and take care of the underlying condition.
Okay. Which brings me to another, pineapple.
Hydration also.
That is also hydration.
Yeah, because I don't know, but if you meet somebody who is well hydrated versus somebody from morning to evening hasn't taken any water, just tired from work, these two people are different. Yes, they might all want to have sex, but they are not as lubricated as they would want to. So it all comes down to lubrication, hydration.
So even if you're psychologically prepared, you can be physiologically
Exactly.
Not prepared.
okay.
Yeah. There's something Georgina said. I want to make a case for the 2 minutes men. 2 minutes is valid. Some people want long foreplay and then 2 minutes penetration, and that's okay. So find someone who wants long foreplay and 2 minutes penetration. Don't go and kill yourself. I mean, what are you doing for 20? Well, you know, that's why I said communication. Everybody has different preferences, right? 2 minutes it's not
But
so
you see,
bad.
people have stigmatized it to 2 minutes.
It's because of social media.
Exactly. Meanwhile, there are people who are enjoying 2 minutes sex, but they will not come out and say it. There are people who are like, so. I mean, that's why we're having this conversation so that we can, trash all of this and then let people just be who they are and enjoy their sexual encounters.
Now, what about cashew nuts? You said groundnuts, but do cashew nuts also?
Not generally,
Well, not directly,
Yeah,
but
zinc.
based on their composition, zinc may be involved in testosterone production in the long run. So not immediate, but they still contribute to
Hey, that one is a
general
five-year
sexual
plan.
health. Yes.
Okay. And of course, horny goat weed. No, I was wondering, is it the goat that has horns, or is it the weed that is horny? Okay, explain horny goat weed. We see the ad.
I've never heard of it.
So it's a supplement used mainly, we have it here in Kenya, but it's mainly for male sexual health, especially for the prostate. But how it works, if you have a healthy prostate, healthy sexual, your organs are good, then you'll be able to perform, but does not work directly by increasing libido. It's more on the health, prostate health. Yes.
And finally, vanilla. The essence of vanilla.
Vanilla essence. I'm not sure about that, but I'd say anything you take that makes you feel good, high dopamine, you're well to go.
Yeah.
Feel good hormone, you're good to go.
It's those scented candles people put.
Oh, they are aphrodisiacs too.
Uh-huh.
They make you happy. They give you oxytocin. See, whatever makes you happy, whatever boosts your confidence, even credit alert is an aphrodisiac.
Yes. Confirmed. Message confirmed. You have received
Oh,
Kenya shillings or however
exactly.
dollars.
So it's an aphrodisiac. So I think that instead of just thinking of quick fixes, we should cultivate a healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, so that whenever you are ready, you don't have to wait till you're in a relationship, you don't have to wait till you have a booty appointment, so that just whenever you're ready, your body is ready, your mind is ready, reduce stress, just have a healthy lifestyle generally. Don't just wait for, this girl is coming to my house or this boy is coming to my house. The pineapple you take right now is not going to work. The alcohol water you take right now is not going to work, except for those ones that are instant acting. And then even those ones that seem like they work, like the alcohol, the bitters, those concussions, they are harmful. They're actually harmful. They will do the needful at the moment. How about the after effect and the consequences? Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, there's one that comes to mind. It's called Uji Power.
Yes.
You can expand on that.
All right. So mainly in Kenya, there's something called Ujipa, which men believe it helps boost their libido and their performance. But now you ask yourself, what is in the Ujipa? Mainly we have milk, we have maybe some cassava, we have peanuts, then they're blended and mixed together, then you're given that. So it's it's all in the mind. It's a mind game, but also it elaborates the need for good nutrition. However, the contents of the uji power may not work immediately, for example, the peanuts, but they will help in increasing vasodilation. Also, in terms of the contents of uji power, we also have carbohydrates. You need energy to perform. So that's how it works. It's not a magic pill. It's mental, but it also has some aspects of vasodilation, aphrodisiac. Most of them, if not all, have peanuts. Then we have the energy aspect. Also, we've mentioned alcohol, and this is to the men now. For alcohol, you'll find it reduces your inhibitions, then it increases your libido. However, for alcohol, do not overdo it because there's something called whiskey dick, whereby if you take too much alcohol, then you'll be unable to rise to the occasion and unable to perform, bringing about disappointment. So ideally, do not go to alcohol for performance. But in terms of alcohol, it works by reducing sensitivity for the men. Yes.
So makes you last longer?
Yes, yes, it does. But now the question is, how much alcohol will you take? And will you have to take alcohol for every encounter? So also you had spoken about the 2-minute men and all that. It's all about, there's something called now performance anxiety. So there's a lot of pressure in society about the minutes and all that, which makes you, when you get to the playing field, 2 minutes, you're done. However, for the men, there's something called a refractory period. So in the first half, if you got there very fast, redeem yourself in the subsequent rounds. And as Kelechi had alluded to, we have those who are content with 2 minutes, others 120, so find your type. But have composure and know that it's a marathon, it's not a 100-meter race. So there'll be a second, there'll be a third round to redeem yourself.
There'll be extra time, there'll be penalties. It's okay. The first half it's okay. That one you can give.
But that's why it's important to at least make her come first before you penetrate. Doesn't that work?
Yes, and you had said it's mental. It
So
starts
it's all
in the
mental.
mind.
So once a woman, climaxes, if you come, it's your personal business. You can just round up. But if she
Very
hasn't come,
true,
that's
very
when
true.
she feels like, she hasn't been satisfied. But if you have satisfied her, from in the morning, text
Yes.
messages,
Yes.
just treat her right, and then
And
she's
invest
not
in
going to have
foreplay.
exactly
Yes.
invest in foreplay.
So then what we're saying here is, as you are in a relationship with each other, you are each other's aphrodisiac.
Exactly.
So Brandy was right.
Yes. Cue
Now,
the
just
music.
some final thoughts, I guess, on aphrodisiacs, like your last word. Because we've talked about cultural, we've talked about psychological, mental, medical, all that. But now for you, what would you like to leave in the minds of people with regards to aphrodisiacs?
So what I'd like to tell people is, at times you think you need it, but you don't need it. You're just okay. For people who tend to go over the counter and get Viagra, 19 years old, 22 years old, actually Viagra is meant for erectile dysfunction. You can't be 22 and you're having erectile dysfunction unless medically proven you are. So at times we think we need it, but actually you don't. Just get into the right mindset, like Malcolm has said. Performance anxiety will derange your performance.
Yeah.
So just get into the right mindset and you'll be able to perform. Yeah.
Dr. Kelechi.
Okay, I would say that, yes, sex is important, but there are other things that are also important, like your physical health, your mental health, and then just your health generally. So in the bid to impress someone who doesn't even want to be impressed, in the bid to, match up to your mate, do not take decisions that will be detrimental to your health, because when push comes to shove, when night comes, you have to deal with the consequences alone. So make the right decisions.
All right. For me, I'd say when opportunity meets preparedness, we have success. So for me, I mean, stay healthy, eat right, work out, go to the gym, get enough rest, try and alleviate stress. It's a wholesome affair, and it's also in the mind. So provided you stay healthy engage in physical activity, get enough rest, have the right state of mind, then you will enjoy. And also, aphrodisiacs are good, but just to spice up, do not depend on them.
So they don't replace.
Yes,
Hey.
they add.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. This is the MedSquad Podcast. We get candid with you. Conversations about your health all across Africa. Now, how you're going to spice things up is up to you. But remember, the biggest sex organ is the brain. What are you feeding your mind? We keep it real with you. Follow us on all our platforms at the MedSquad Pod and share this information with someone who thinks they're a superstar. Yeah, just let them know how it really is. We'll see you next time.